Welcome back to another episode of Who Am I to Judge podcast. I'm Alexis.
And I am Samantha. Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm having a chill, pretty good day. I
Mm-hmm.
casted my vote.
Oh, we
Okay.
got a voter on
I,
our hands.
I did my civic duty. Okay.
I'm
I
proud
did
of you.
that. Yes. And what else? Yeah, it's just been a chill day. Been connected with my higher power. All right.
What do you mean by that? Are you just playing?
No, I've been talking to God all day, okay?
About what?
Any and everything. Just, so what's next? Thank you. Praying for people.
That's real.
How are you, friend?
I mean, I've been on the
I know
emotional wreck today.
Alexis been giving me a play-by-play since you
I
freaking,
just woke up. I told Samantha earlier today, like, I am just like raw today. Like, I have just been on the verge of tears all day. And like, I even cried at my like one-on-one meeting with my like project manager. I'm just a ball of like emotions
She's
today.
in
I'm just very raw.
Scorpio season, y'all. She's
Yeah.
entered this water season.
Is that
Okay.
what it is? Like, Scorpio's a water season?
Yes, Scorpio is a water sign,
So tell
and
me, like, why my crying and just emotional day is just like
I mean,
makes sense.
sometimes there's just emotional days, but we are in Scorpio season,
Mm-hmm.
and that deals with like the depths of emotion, and it is a
Mm-hmm.
water sign. And we're kind of getting to the bottom of things that are just like not working or that needs adjustment. We're coming up on a new moon on the
Mm.
first or the second. It's either the first or the second in Scorpio. So yeah, it's just funny. Like Libra season's like a party, and then like Scorpios. If you're not used to the Scorpio energy, it's like, oh
Mm-hmm.
shit, like I'm like deep in this and
I
my
know, and it's just I think that's a really good point. Like, I don't know, like for you know this, but I'm in Austin right now, which I feel like is just an emotional city for me.
mm-hmm.
Um, Work, like, not that it's bad, but it's just that, like, I had an emotional conversation and I'm
Alexis
just
isn't used to being like in her emotions or
I know.
feelings.
And then like just life, as you know, just like emotional conversations or just things coming up. And so it's just
Mm-hmm.
like I'm literally just today, out of all the days, I was just kind of like, I don't know. Just anything set me off to cry, and this is the thing. I don't mind being vulnerable. I don't mind like crying and having a conversation, but it's just like I'm not a crier. Like how I
It's
express
just
my
a
sad
rare, yeah, like
Right.
a
How I
rare
express my
day.
sadness is like through talking or just like, and I do things to get out of it. But to like literally emote like tears from my
I
body, it
know.
takes a lot. It takes me really
It
being like sad or
does.
hurt or angry. And so I
Yeah.
was just like,
I
oh
know. I
my
don't like
God.
seeing you cry.
I know. No one does.
It's like,
No
oh
one does.
no,
Because it
Alexis
never
cry.
happens.
I
Exactly. And
know.
so like I mean my boss was Dutch. I mean she was literally just like, "Oh my God." She was like holding her heart while I was crying and like was like crying too. And like I know whenever I cry, Julia's like I feel like the worst person ever. Not that she even did anything to make me cry, but just
Yeah.
like even if I'm crying over nothing, she's like, "What can I do?" And I know that I have an effect on a lot of people. But it was just like yeah, today was just one of those days. It was like all of these emotions that I've had for, the past week or so, and then like
Mm-hmm.
work, and then being in this city that's super emotional for me, just like
Nostalgic and yeah.
imploding into a very like a day where it's just like anything could make me sad or cry. But it's okay to have
Yeah.
a good cry. And so
Yeah. It sounds like you're lighter after having a good cry, you
I
know?
am lighter and like and then I had some good conversations today with other friends, and so yeah, I do feel like lighter, and I do feel like I guess this is how I'm entering my Scorpio season, as you said.
Yes, girl. Get with it.
And
Let
I
it
guess this
out.
is what happens when you enter that.
I mean,
But
sometimes. But
other than
yes.
that though, I wanted to tell you about my weekend.
Oh, yes. Tell me. I know we save things. We're like, I'll ask her on the phone, like, so how was the weekend in upstate New York? And she's like, let's wait till the podcast.
My
So,
weekend was phenomenal. It was so sweet. So Julia and I went up to upstate in the Catskills and we got a really
ooh, the
cute Airbnb. I
Catskills.
know, we brought the dogs. We got a really bit cute Airbnb and just had like a really cute, cozy fall time. It was the perfect weather. It was like very much fall. And it was so nice. Like the first day we got there, we like Julia made grilled cheese and like homemade tomato soup. It was like perfect. Like it
Mm.
was like she nailed it. We made a whiskey gingers with Sir
Oh, yeah. So
Davis.
how was
It
that?
was great. Like on its own, I don't like brown liquor, so I was like, oh, but then once I like mixed it with other stuff, I was like, oh, this is nice.
So it wasn't
We
smooth going down like without
I mean,
anything.
maybe the whiskey drinkers, but to me, I was like,
Right.
immediately.
Okay.
And then we just like it was like we were sitting on the couch, it was cozy. We like went
Mm-hmm.
outside with the dogs, we had a little romantic night. It was sweet.
Mm.
Ooh. What
How
do you think that
exciting.
means? You're
I mean,
hilarious.
it could mean, it could mean a
It
lot
could
of
mean
things.
bucking, bucking, bucking.
Oh God.
Whoa.
I don't want to think about you bucking it, okay?
That's so funny. But no, it was a nice night. That did
Did you
happen,
guys do
but it was
like
also
apple
just
picking or
nice.
anything?
The next day we woke up,
Okay.
we made breakfast, which was great. I made potatoes, Julia made eggs, I made bacon, she made toast, and we had like a lovely little brunch. Then we went to, honestly, I'm about to write a bad review on this place. We went to Apple Orchard and they like knowingly robbed us. Like they took our money knowing there was no fucking apples on those trees.
Oh
So we went down to the
no.
apples and everything's on the fucking ground.
Oh
So I'm literally
no.
like, this is robbery. And so we do that. Then we go to Walmart and I'm like, we were supposed to have like a really cute, like another like cute little like romantic dinner. But I was just
Mm-hmm.
like, I am like honestly tired. Like I kind of just want to like cook something and sit by the fire pit. So we go to Walmart, we get some firewood and we like get like pasta and shit to make. That night we make food, we listen to music. You know, it's a good time. We're
Mm-hmm.
making more whiskey gingers with serving. We're tipsy the whole weekend, mind you. This is like
Mm-hmm.
we never lose the tipsiness. And then
Oh.
we make a fire pit and that was really fun. We're hanging out talking to that. We watch
Mm-hmm.
TV, we watch
Yeah, did y'all watch
Beyonce.
anything good?
We've been watching this thing called I think it's called The English Teacher or something. It's on Hulu. It's a
Oh
show. It's actually
yeah.
really good. And
Mm-hmm.
then we started Yellow Jackets, so we were doing
Okay.
that. Um
No Harry Potter.
no, we didn't. And then we didn't get nasty that night. We were
Okay,
tired.
Alexis. You don't
We were
have to
tired.
tell us all that. Let's leave
Um
some things to the imagination.
imagination. And then the next day we wake up,
I'm happy for you, friend.
we then what do we do? We get like everything ready for the car because we then have to make our way to LaGuardia because then I literally go dropped off at the airport and go to Austin. So now I'm here in Austin.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just crazy because like as
How
I
did you
dropped
get
down,
mellow to your mom?
Julia dropped her off with my mom.
Oh wow.
I know. And so and it was crazy because as I was landing in Austin, they were like, "It's beautiful weather here. It's 91 degrees, mind you." I landed at
Woohoo.
8:30 at night. And I literally like just like laughed to myself because I was like, this is my hell.
I know, literally.
And then literally I get out of the car and we're like driving past my old apartment, like the beer gardens I used to love and
Yes.
everything and the bars. And I'm just like, I could never live here again. But
What was that
and
place
I
you
was
always
just
used to go? The Mill.
Buzzmill.
Oh yeah,
Buzzmill.
Buzzmill.
Yeah. It's funny because remember your friend met us there and she was like, oh yeah,
Oh,
I know the Buzzmill.
yes, that's a
But
popular place.
it is. It was right by my house. But yeah, like we just it was just I don't know. The minute I got in the Uber, it was like like emotions. That's when the emotions started. I immediately became
Mm-hmm.
emotional, and obviously that spilled over into today. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
overall, all in all, it was a very fun weekend. We
That's
had a lot of
great.
fun. We did a lot of fun things. We hung out with the dogs. It was very cute. It was very romantic, and it was very like storybook. The leaves, the trees. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
but I did want to tell you this. I can't believe I
What?
forgot So like one day I was like playing with the dogs outside, and I was like the neighbors were like across the street. I was like hi, because he had a dog that was like really curious. I was like hi. He was like hey. He was a white guy. So then that night, me and Julia made a fire pit, and she's like, she comes outside because she's making the fire pit while I'm drinking my whiskey sours in the, I mean, whiskey gingers in the house. And she's like, babe, like, I don't want to freak you out, but like, I just saw something crazy. And I'm like, what? And I'm going to show you it because I want you to just feel the reaction I felt the minute she showed me it.
Oh
Um,
God. Is it a cross burning?
no,
What the hell is
it was the
it?
next door neighbor's window, and this is what the window had.
Oh hell no.
Do you
It's a
see the house?
Confederate
It's like the
flag for
house.
the
Yeah, it's
listeners.
Confederate flag. And I'm like immediately filled with so much fear. And I was like, I'm so scared. Like I saw this man today. He knows I'm a black man. And then literally later tonight,
I
that's on
mean
his
a
fucking
woman.
window. And I'm sorry, you're right. And it's
I'm
like,
like,
I'm
are
scared
you a
to like
black
be
man?
out here in this fire fucking pit. Next thing I know, the house is burning down. Or next thing I know, there's like white like capes coming around me. And so I was just
Aw.
like, I'm scared. But it was just so interesting how in that moment it was like, this trip is not fun anymore to me. I want to go home. Like,
Mm-hmm.
after having such a beautiful weekend, it was like, I just
What
can't.
day was that? The night
That was
before
the
y'all
night
left?
before we left. Yeah. And I was like, I just
Oh
want to lock the
no.
doors and fucking go. And Julie was like, yeah, like you sit over here by the door. Don't sit by them. And like,
Oh my God.
but it was just scary. But yeah, I
I
wanted to tell you that
know.
because it's like, I mean, I was telling
Yeah.
my friends and they were just like, I mean, I mean, you're in rural America
Hell
out in a
yeah.
cabin. These people are nuts. And
I
I'm like,
feel like,
you're literally in New York. You're not even in the South. Like, what do you think New York was fighting
girl,
for during that time?
I literally like I feel like I'm a little desensitized because when we used to go camping all the time in Maryland, like, and especially back in the day, everybody had a damn like a Confederate
What did
flag.
your
So
parents say? Were they just like, it is what it, like, they were just like, these people are nuts, or they didn't even
I
talk about
mean,
it?
we just knew, like, we would just always like cheer when we saw other black people and
Mm
like,
hmm. Mm hmm.
and just were like, okay, like, let's just stay safe, you know? But
Mm.
we definitely would like carry on, like, and not go. So I feel like that's like how I'm like a little desensitized. Not desensitized, but just like not super scared if I like see it. But I definitely get what you mean. It always like raises concern when you see those things, especially in the middle of nowhere. So I
I mean,
get it.
hell yeah. I was literally just like, oh God, I want to go home immediately. Like the trip is not fun for me anymore, you know? Um,
Yeah.
and Julie understood. She was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And,
Hmm.
just like, what can I do? And I don't know. It was just scary though. But I'm just like, it's interesting being in those situations with a white partner.
I
Um,
know, right?
but
Does it make you feel safer or more scared?
oh my God, I'm more scared because I'm like, now they're really pissed off.
Right,
Like,
right,
like
right.
they're like seeing her as a traitor. Like they don't see her as like an ally at that point. Now they want to hurt her too. So not
I
that I'm like
know.
scared for her, but I'm more so just like, oh my God, I wonder if they're even more mad now.
Did I
Um,
ever tell you the story where my grandparents like passed the KKK in the car and like
your
my
grandmother, yeah.
my grandparents are we're in an interracial relationship, and yeah, like I think it was like my uncle David like slammed like my grandma's head so that they wouldn't see her in the car or something, like just like put her head down or something. Yeah, it's wild. It's wild. Wild times.
That's crazy. And then the final thing I wanted to tell you before we get to it is like our neighborhood, our block group chat. I just think you would find it to be so fucking funny. Cause like
What?
basically there's this guy who's been like stealing packages from people's doors and buildings. And
Mm-mm.
they have just been like outrageous in this block group chat. Like, I'll let my husband deal with him. And I'm just like,
Oh
what are these
God.
people doing? And like, just be like, literally. So I thought about it because I just looked like I just got a notification from the like the blocks group chat, and it says like the perpetrator behind the package theft has struck again. I had the opportunity to witness his actions today. I strongly advise you to take the necessary precautions to secure your package. It's like,
Oh my
okay. At this
god.
point,
So they're
I'm like,
seeing
not.
them take the package?
Apparently this person's seen it, but I mean, when I tell you they have been like so much, like it just exposes who's the Karens on the block, because it's like Julia
Mm-hmm.
was like, well, if anyone's really worried about their packages, feel free to drop it off at our, get it delivered to our building, because they deliver it into our
Oh,
hallway.
look
So
at
like,
you.
Julia's thinking of ways like that. And it's like,
Solutions.
and everybody else is like, I'll let my
We're gonna call
husband
the
deal with it.
cops.
Exactly. We're
Yeah.
calling the cops. So he did get arrested last week for doing it. Someone in the neighborhood called the cops, and
The
someone took a
cop.
video of him literally getting arrested and was like, ha, ha, ha. And I'm just
Oh
like,
my
they're
god.
crazy in this block.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's crazy. But anyway, let's get to it. Who is on trial this week?
Yes. Well, we want to definitely get into a couple things. I do want to talk about, since it is voting week, Beyonce at Kamala's rally. And then also, Kamala was on Shannon Sharp today, which I think was a pretty smart move for undecided Black voters specifically. But then I definitely want to get into like, are the girlies, especially the younger generation, are we looking to be crazy in love, or do we want to be healthy in love? Like, what
Ooh.
does that look like? I feel like we are kind of moving away from that in certain
Mm-hmm.
ways. And of
Yeah.
course, we're big Beyonce fans, so it's like it always comes back to Beyonce. But yeah, I want to hear your thoughts first about just like Kelly and Beyonce at the rally. Like, how
We'll
did you
start
feel?
there. I felt great. I mean, I was like, I mean, I'm a person who I love when celebrities like endorse and speak up, especially when it's on the side of like inclusivity and expansion and access for people. So like I feel like someone with as big of a platform as Beyonce, who like some people see her as like their god, I'm like, I definitely think that she should be. I mean, I thought it was like just well timing. Like we're in Houston, we're gonna get more people. And it was also just even if you're not even a fan of Kamala, like it got more people to listen to her because of the fact that Beyonce was there, right? They
Introduced her.
tuned in for it. Um,
I
and
heard
so
like
I
it was
thought,
like 7 million people or something.
wow. And so this is the thing, it's like I also just like I think sometimes it's hard because sometimes we forget that, and you and me are both are guilty of this, forget that Beyonce is like a person who's a voter and who cares about issues, right? And so she has every right to endorse somebody and to speak at something. So I think I'm really happy for her. I think she clearly cares about like issues because she's a mother and she's a mother of daughters
Mhm.
and one son. And so I mean,
It's an American.
I really enjoyed it. Right, she's an American, and I love that she was just like, we're country people, like we're Southern girls, like we grew
Hmm.
up in a Texas that looked totally different than the Texas we have now, and even Texas still has a lot of work to do, and we're mighty. And so I kind of was like, I don't know, I feel like having, and this is the last thing I'll say about it, like having lived in Texas for 4 years, I kind of feel this like weird affinity to it in a way, as like bittersweet as obviously because I was crying today, but just like I do see like as like horrific of laws like Texas has here, and
Hmm.
as like gross as it can be, it was like serious voter suppression every single time I tried to vote there. But like there's so many pockets of people in Texas, mighty pockets of people in Texas that are like change makers, visionaries that are really, really, really working to get Texas to be purple and blue. And I feel like sometimes those people are just like, you don't think about them because of the fact that like you're in Texas. And so I feel like Beyonce did a good job of like shining light on like we're mighty. Texas has people that are like game changers, and Texas is a very valuable, important state. And so I feel like she did a good job of kind of like shining that. What are your thoughts?
Hmm. I definitely, it's so funny. First, I want to ask you, did you think she was going to perform, or how did you feel that
I
she did
did.
everything?
I thought she was gonna sing Freedom, but I'm actually happy she
Yeah,
did it. I'm happy
right.
it didn't turn into a concert. It was just her
Yes.
endorsing. What do you think?
Yes, I agree. It like made more sense. She's like, let's win first and then we
Hmm.
can, celebrate.
I do think she will perform at some point.
Oh yeah. She's
Yeah.
gonna perform at like the inauguration or the after
Exactly.
thing or something.
Exactly.
But yeah, it was amazing to see. It was cute because it did remind me like they're just, young women
Mm-hmm.
that like, grew up in this city and like this is
Mm-hmm.
like where they grew up. And so it was just cute to remember that they're just like, just Houston girls at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved Kelly's like authentic energy, like I love that she's just,
She's like, do, do, do,
I know, she was like, we're taking the pen back. And like, I just love that she is herself. And, but I told you I was nervous. Like when I was watching it, I was just like, oh shit. Like, I don't know. I just felt
I know
nervous,
you felt really nervous
but
energy.
they were like handling it well. Like just the little, like Mama Tina's teleprompter and stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
the mic's not working. Like all of that was just making me nervous, but they did great. They did amazing. They're just so graceful, when things go wrong, they just stay present. I feel like,
I agree. I
yeah.
agree.
And I
But it
am
also made me
happy
think
that
about, sorry, go
Beyonce,
ahead.
I was just like, I am happy Beyonce, like,
Endorsed.
endorsed to this level. I mean, she had to. Like, you were
It just
dancing
made
at
me
Hillary, so.
exactly. But it made me think about just like, damn, like does she always has to be on. It like sucks. Like I was just thinking about that because even just the way she talks in public, I was thinking about that because she was like her smile did not fade the entire like, talk. It was like, "Hi, I'm so happy to be here. Look at it's like
I
the smile
mean,
just stayed." And I'm like, she's so
that.
well trained. Like I was just like,
Oh
it's
my
like
God,
she's not,
yeah.
and I'm not saying that in a bad thing, but I'm just saying like, yeah, like she's at the point where she understands like anytime the camera is on me, I have to be engaged to
I mean,
some degree.
especially in that, like, it's something
Hmm.
as important as this, where like people are going to be dissecting
Hmm.
every like moment. But
Hmm.
yeah, I feel like though she's good at still keeping her personality, like,
Absolutely.
and which is
Absolutely.
really beautiful. Like it's just like, yep, like this is still my hometown, and I'm
Hmm.
not about to
I'm
like,
I'm still a Houston
act
girl,
right. I'm not
right?
about
Act
to
brand
act brand
new.
new. Like, hello everyone. Like, it's like H Town.
Right?
Like,
She was like
what's up,
all the way
y'all?
to Mosin. They were
I
all like,
know. I know. So yeah, I mean, again, we love when Beyonce talks to us,
we
like,
do. We wish she would do it
and
more.
yeah, and it's so important, and that kind of leads me to just the Shannon Sharp interview, and I'm just very like it just made me like grateful for like Shannon Sharp's like how his reach has become this year, and I love that Kamala went on there, like I feel like
Yeah, I
this
mean, she
is
has a reach. It's
I
clearly
feel like
touching
the
the black audience, but
people
I didn't listen to the interview.
Yeah, I just like feel like the people that listen to that are the people that are like, undecided or just like it doesn't matter, I'm not going to vote, and it's just like
Ignorant.
this is why it matters because XYZ. And it's just like it was just very plain and simple. Like if you have questions on why you should or should not vote, and sure, like yes, it is ignorant, but sometimes ignorance is, it's not that person's fault all the way. It's just like whatever. However it needs to get to you when you wake up, it's just like I feel like that could have reached some people the way
No, I think
that
it
they
reached some
would.
people. I don't really have much to say on it, but I do think it reached people. I don't really I'm
Yeah,
happy
share it
for.
with somebody that's undecided if you guys know anybody that is. And yeah, how do you feel about like what if somebody told you that they didn't vote? Would you like be friends with them still?
I would never talk to them. Like, I don't know. I'm at the point now, like, I've
Yeah.
had this discussion with Julia a lot,
Mhm.
and I've talked about it with some other friends, and like,
Mhm.
um, I would never. I mean, I think we're at the point now where it's not merely a choice of just like I didn't vote. It is a character flaw. It is a moral compass issue. It is an ethics issue. Like I can read deeper into this choice now. And because
Mhm.
I feel like, as adults, we see that it like very much affects other people. This is a high stakes election. This is like a lot of things on
Mhm.
the line, especially with,
Oh my
abortion, gay
god.
rights,
Life or
immigration,
death
life or death for people, you know? And so,
Education, our
I mean,
basic thing.
police immunity. I mean, there's so many things. And
Mhm.
so it's just like education, like you said. So it's just like, to me, you just taking a backseat, it's just like, oh, you don't sound like a fun time. You don't sound like someone who I would be compatible with. And
Right.
so for that reason, no, we wouldn't be friends. I would let them know it's specifically because of that choice. Um,
Mhm.
and we wouldn't fuck with each other. I mean, like, for example, one of, I won't say the person's name, but this person that's very close to me has a friend who's like a family friend who like doesn't really engage with politics, doesn't vote. And I told them if I ever see this person in person and we like meet, I would say like, "What's up?" But I don't really fuck with you. Like I know you don't vote. Like I would like that. Like I would say it. Like it's just like, "What's up?" Like we can
Mhm.
be, you know, we're here. We'll be respectful, but this will never go anywhere because you don't fucking vote. So,
Mhm.
um,
Mhm.
but no. What about you? Would you be friends
Yeah.
with someone who didn't vote?
It is so. I just want to like say something that you were talking about, and then I'll answer the question. But like, it's crazy. Like, I see people like this astrologer that I follow, and like, she is, and like, this is before, like, I'm not like following her now on her views.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly am curious how she is interpreting this stuff. But she is just like, just thinks that Kamala is basically like Trump 2.0, like, just like whatever. And it's just like, it's crazy to me. And so I do feel like I agree. I do think that it is like on the level of like me to you, like it is unacceptable, especially with just the things on the line and it affecting every person you know. Like policy affects you whether you like it or not. And so I definitely would have to just see them differently. Um, but I feel like I am just like the type of person where it's just like, um, like your beliefs, and I guess just like I'm just kind of like, we came to this planet and you have a right to be who you want to be. I don't know if we can like necessarily be in close proximity. If you have a real like, I don't know. It's hard to say. Like, I don't know, cuz it's just like you have to have, like, I want to know what your reasoning is. Is it because you truly feel like you're giving your energy to the machine? Like, I just need to understand. And even if I don't fully understand, I don't know if I would cut somebody off, but I definitely would look different and be like, they are like lost, and yeah, I don't know. It's just I feel like personally, I'm not like, I feel like those people probably just like wouldn't tell me. They
They
didn't
probably, and
vote.
that's another thing I thought about too. I don't think those people would tell me. But let's talk about the love thing
Let's
because
get
I'm
to
thinking about some
it.
celebrities.
Okay.
Okay, let's get to it. So you said, well, tell us the context behind this. You said you've been seeing more. I know you said you've been seeing more with like Gen Z being like they're like seeking more like, you could
Well,
call it
yeah, you
practical love
said,
maybe or
I
something like
said
that.
healthy love,
Healthy,
but
yeah.
you sent me that TikTok, and me and Lexus talk about this all the time. Just like,
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
we just talk about like, lyrics, and how like some of Beyonce's lyrics are just
Well, let's
so.
like back it up. I feel like with
Mhm.
Samantha being in, and I always say this, and one day we'll have an episode about this, but with Samantha being in a program for like love addiction, I feel like
Mhm.
you have given me new terminology, new words, and just new exposure. And so I feel like when, things that I used to just think about, whether rom coms, lyrics, whatever, to
Mhm.
songs, you then are like, oh my God, this shit is toxic, or this is like love addicts for real. And so I feel like it's like allowed us to really dissect relationships and celebrity
Yes.
relationships and like what we think about them. I'll
And
leave
I'll
that for another
also
day.
and I'll
Go ahead.
also say though, like, I feel like even before Love Addicts Anonymous, like, it was starting to feel weird to
Mm-hmm.
like sing some of like the lyrics
Right. And so
that I used to like, sing with all my heart,
so I sent
So
Samantha a TikTok of these like four black girls, and they and the background was rather die young, and so they were singing like, cause I well, the lyrics are, cause I'd rather die young than
and
live
live
my
my
life
life without,
without
I'd
you.
rather not live at
Ah, ah.
all.
And so basically they start singing I'd rather die, and then like they stopped immediately because they didn't sing the die young unless I'm living whatever without you.
Yeah, they
And
basically, I'd
they
rather
basically just are like,
live.
right, they're basically like, I'd rather live. There's absolutely no love that would ever get me to this point where I'm like, I'd rather die young. And
Yeah. And I have
and
seen people being like, please don't let me ever fall in love like that. Like,
Let
like where
another,
it's like,
please God, never let this kind of love find me.
yes,
And so
exactly.
Samantha texted me like, I feel like we should, Gen Z is like pushing this more like healthy, practical love versus like this like intoxicating, lustful, like all, that type of love. And so what are your thoughts on it,
Dangerously.
Samantha? Dangerously in love, yeah.
I mean, we talk about this a lot, but I do feel like that. I feel like we're just kind of, even like the rappers, like the female rappers, is just like no, like we're leaving them if they cheat. Like it's not all about them. Like, like just not here for centering men and making that like the most important thing. And I
I
definitely
mean,
feel like and yeah, like I just want healthy love. Like after like seeing how, you know, being crazy in love, like if we really want to break those words down, that is not fun. Like it is not fun. I'm so sorry. It's
why do you say
like
it's not fun?
because I have just felt those like, I mean, it's just okay. We gotta be real, like this, because we talk about this in the context of Beyonce a lot because we love Beyonce so much, and we talk about her all the time. And
We
so
do.
when I you know read or like sing the lyrics that are like I'm like, baby, I can't go anywhere without thinking that you're there. Like, it's just like those. I mean, that's a little bit more
Or
fun.
take off of me. I
I
just want to
just
be
want to be
the
the
girl
girl
you
you
like.
like. It's like, no, we are not looking for validation from these people. Like, we know and so as much as we like, it's just that we're reimagining and starting to be like, wait a minute, like, I don't want to die young and live my
Well,
life
this is
without
my
you.
thing. So I feel like it made me think when I sent you that, it made me think of Love is Blind. So right now, Love is Blind's like DC season's out, and there
Mm-hmm.
was like, spoiler, like there was this
It's
couple,
fun.
this black couple, Ramses and Marissa, who ended up like, it came out of nowhere. Like they were the cutest couple. They were so cute, and then all of a sudden, like one day he's having a very serious conversation. He's like, ends it everything. He breaks up with her, ends it all, and she's like on the, I mean, and I'm not even saying this to make fun of her. It's like she was so taken back and felt like she had no say in it, right? It was just like, okay, you want it over and it's over. That like she's like on the floor crying, bawling. She's asking him, is he sure? Like she's asking him, is he sure again? Like she's like, he's having to pick her off the floor, and like it's like a
Oh
complete
yeah. I
breakdown.
saw something that was like, it's like
Well, what else?
that they like that girl needs to like sue or them because they
Yeah, I
had
know a
her
lot of people
that
said that.
long.
Well, she was just like very heartbroken. Like, it was clear that they
Yeah,
were watching somebody who's like
absolutely.
very, very heartbroken and
Right.
very much was in love, like, with this guy.
Yeah.
And I mean, trust me, the viewers were all like, what the fuck? Like, they were literally happy 2 days ago. And so basically though, I remember reading one of the comments, and one of the comments was like, in your life, you always have like, maybe one or two relationships that are like, you're like this innocent love, right? You come in there with like good faith. You think that like, of course they're going to be real with me. Of course they're going to be vulnerable with me. Of course they're going to treat me right, because why wouldn't they? I'm doing the same thing to them. And like, and you just are just innocent. You have all these expectations that are just so innocent and pure. And then you get your heart broken, and it's just like crushes you. And then and then after that you move forward with like this more you love with your
Mhm.
senses, they said. Like, you know, you
Mhm.
like you're more practical with it. You're like, okay, does this work for me financially? Does this work for me? Are they kind to
Mhm.
me?
Mhm.
You work, it comes from a different place, I guess, in your body. And I
Mhm.
feel like that's kind of what I got from that video of like that song, like Rather Die Young, and just that feeling of like, I could not live without this person. I'd rather not be here. The love is intoxicating. I'm crazy in love. I'm dangerously in love. Like, you're just everything to me. I want to be the girl you like, all those things. Um, to me was like, it's like, oh, that's like an innocent, like that's a love that's coming from a different place, that's not coming from
Mhm.
a like more mature place, that's like you're loving with your senses now. And nothing, it's not,
Yeah.
one is not like, and it's not like you love
Yeah.
them less because you're loving with your senses, but you're just not in the headspace of like a fantasy like that anymore.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of what Gen Z is kind of talking about in those
Yeah.
situations.
And I know I remember you mentioned just like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Beyonce has only had like two relationships, so she
Mm-hmm.
might not have gotten like that, like,
The
you
next
know,
stage.
yes.
But maybe with her, like I'm curious if like in those cases when say someone's only dated one person or two people, if like you learn that through like her, like we know he's cheated on her many times.
Yeah,
We know
she
that. Like I
definitely
wonder if
learns
she's like,
more through that. Yes, it's like, oh
yeah.
shit, like this guy's not like perfect. He has issues, and
But I don't know, like what kind of love do you want? Like I'm curious, like as a single person, you're seeing these things, you're in the program, you understand like certain love is just like not real, I guess, or not in the reality. Samantha always says they're living in fantasy. Like, what kind of love do you?
And before I answer that, it just made me think like maybe Beyonce just allows herself to like be in fantasy in her music and then like, is just more rational in real life. Let's hope, but I get it. Like I feel like Beyonce did say that love is her weakness, and but in terms of the love that I want, I it's so interesting because I have just been, like I said, like in the program and just not really thinking about that much, like of just like what I would want it to look like. But I do talk to people that are like sober dating, and I'm just like, oh my God, like when I start to date,
Wait, just plain sober dating.
sober dating is like just like keeping your feet on the ground and knowing yourself, and like when you are starting to like, it's so hard to describe, but like maybe they're taking up more of your mental headspace than they need to, or like you're
Mm-hmm.
not, focused in your life because you're like thinking about this person,
Mm-hmm.
or it's like really upsetting, it's just
Mm-hmm.
like your emotions are up and down because you feel really anxious. And so I feel like um so I've just started to just think about like, okay, like what would healthy love look like to me, and how will I get to that point of just like not getting too intoxicated by a romantic situation, but also like enjoying it and feeling like it's amazing and
Yeah.
quote unquote magical in some ways, but like having your feet on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but I think for me it's going to be like, I was like had this realization the other day. It's just like I'm gonna have to basically almost pretend like my life right now as a single person needs to remain like I'm a single person when I'm in a
Mm-hmm.
relationship. It's
Mm-hmm.
like I talk to my friends all like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I am on my meetings. Like
Mm-hmm.
obviously I'll make time, like make space and time, but it's like I have to feel like an individual single
Mm-hmm.
person even
Mm-hmm.
when I have a partner. Like,
Mm-hmm.
or like at least I need to practice that
Mhm.
going into it and
Mhm.
try to maintain that,
Mhm.
but
I think that's so important. That's a really good point.
yeah, and it's not easy for somebody that,
It's not.
and like there's just going to be so much discovery as I do that, because I feel like you just start to be like, okay, like how often can I, in the dating stage, like how often can I like see this person that's like healthy? It's like, okay, maybe I like see them like twice a week in the beginning. Like that's kind of
Mhm.
what sober dating is. It's like you just kind of are seeing how you can get to know people like without overlooking, like it's like kind of like barriers or like the bowling lane thingies, like it's just keeping you honest to something. And it's just like, because a lot of times love addiction is just like you don't know this person and you feel like this is the one, and it's just like, well, wait a minute, you've only been on 2 dates, like we
Mhm.
really do not know, like, so yeah. But it is definitely a different way to approach things. But I think that like, at the end, like
So,
for me, I want to have serenity. I don't want my heart
mm.
dropping in the morning, like
Not let your heart drop in the
if
morning.
like if I don't get a text, or like
Okay, I get you.
if just like I just don't need that. I don't need
Mhm.
that, kind of drama. And I feel like, yeah, like I don't know. And it's just going to be very interesting when I date, because right
No, I
now
think
it's
that's a
just
really good
like
one.
I'm just forced to I'm forced to focus on myself. And
I mean, I think that this time is so valuable, and I think that like you're absolutely right. Like you want to be your whole self
Mhm.
still when you are partnered. You want to make sure you have all your same hobbies, all your same friends, the same type of connections, and you want to make sure
Not
that you have peace.
performing,
Right, not performing, and that you have peace. And I feel like
Mhm.
that's real. I mean, I can think of relationships and people I know who like they're a package deal, like they never hang out alone, or like or even just like yeah, it's just like you lose that.
Mhm.
Um
What about
I,
you?
what kind of love do I want?
Or just like what is healthy?
What kind of
Like
love do I
how
have? Like what?
Yeah, yeah. What kind of love do you have? Like you tell us like how you balance the, like, oh, like the romance, and like, okay,
What do you
like,
mean? And okay, what? Like life?
and it's healthy, and it's like it's not like, you're on the edge of your seat, like waiting
Hmm.
for, I don't know, like it's
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
consistent
Yeah,
and
I get
all
you. I
those
get
things.
you. Um, many things, man.
Teach
Um,
us,
I mean, I
Alexis.
don't have the answers. I don't have a perfect relationship, but I will say, I do have freedom, and I think that's was very important to me. Like, I am like, I mean, you know me since third grade, but it's like, I feel like sometimes when people meet me, there's many different ways they think that I will behave, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
And I just want freedom. Like I feel like I can be the most weird version of Alexis with Julia, which which is like, I can be very weird. I can be very playful. I can be very goofy. I feel like a lot of people would say like who knew me in childhood and like high school be like, oh, she's goofy as shit. Like, and so it's just like
Mhm.
feel like I have the freedom to just be playful
Mhm.
and goofy. And like it was funny the other day I asked Julia like, um, what are 3 words you used to describe me? And one of them was playful. And I was like, I know, like that's exactly what I am.
Mhm.
But like so I feel like freedom. It's freedom to be, like you said,
Mhm.
not performing, like to be me. Like I was thinking about this the other day, like, I have these like what starter locks right now, right? And they're cute, but
Mhm.
they're like, there are people that would be like, I'm not dealing with a girl right now with like that has her hair like that. And it's sad, but it's the truth.
Right.
They might not say that out loud, but it's the fucking truth. And just wearing their natural hair. Like I wore my natural hair
Yeah.
all this past year. And like I was just
Mhm.
like, like I have the freedom to like I don't have to look, well, Julia thinks I look cute all the time, but it's like,
Yeah, you
I
do
don't
look
feel like
cute.
I have to look cute all the
Right,
time. You know,
right.
like that, like I have the freedom to truly be like the most weird, goofy, um, at times like not as cute,
But you
you
are
know,
so
I'm
cute.
cute, but you know what I mean. You know, like if I wake up in the middle of the morning and I have like my scarf on and my shirt's all over the place, like,
I
you know, whatever.
know.
And it's just like, to me, it's freedom. Like, I feel like I can breathe. I can, you know, I have
Mm-hmm.
a peace of mind that I, you know, at times didn't have in other relationships where I'm just like, okay, I need to look cute. Okay, I need to, be cool. I'll be a little bit more cooler. Like, I don't feel the
Right.
need to pressure to be cool. So freedom was a number one thing to me, and freedom extends to like, so the type of love I want, I feel like I have is freedom. Like, I want to be able to hang out with my friends. I want to be able to hang out with my friends alone without my partner. I want to be free. I want to be free. You know, I want to be able to go on
Yes.
trips with my friends. I want to be able to have my own friends. Like, right, we have some mutual friends, but I also have my own friends. I want to be able to tell secrets
Mm-hmm.
to those friends. Like, I want freedom, you know? And
Mm-hmm.
so I feel like
I love that.
that to me was like love. And I feel like with that comes like, you know, like you have to be secure with each other. Like that, like, you know, we're not gonna cheat, we're not gonna abuse this freedom we both have.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Um where and I just and um you know, it's been interesting like living together for this first time. Because I feel like when I would visit Milwaukee or she would visit Austin, it was very much in this fantasy land because it's like we only have the weekend together or the week together. So
All
we're gonna do all
right.
the
All
fun
right.
things. We're gonna like, you know, I'm gonna look cute every day. I'm gonna, you know, it's just like, it's just different. And then
Mm-hmm.
now living together, it's like this day to day where it's like, okay, literally, I was telling Julie the other day, I was like, our neighbors probably have never seen me out of sweatpants. Like literally, like I was like, and I was just thinking that, you know, it's just like you lose, like, so like in truth, you know, some of that like fantasy we're in the weekend and looking cute, you know, it's gone. It's like it's not as consistent as it was before, but it's still, you know, the romantic things are there. It's just that like I have freedom now. I don't have the
I
pressure
just feel
for that.
like Julia loves you so much. Like she just loves when you are probably with your bonnet on, just like if your sweatpants, you know. So I
That's what you
love that.
want, but I feel like for me, the type of
Yeah.
love I wanted was freedom, and freedom comes with all those things you said, right? Serenity. It
Mm-hmm.
comes with not drop, you know, my heart not dropping or just wondering what they're doing.
Yeah, I love that.
And it comes with like truly being, I don't know. Secondly, the last thing I'll say is like I actually am with someone who wants to be with me.
Mm-hmm.
And that
Mm-hmm.
changes everything, you know,
That
when you're with someone who
does.
wants you, right? Like
Yes.
and so
Yes.
that changes everything. And so I think,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you're seeing this healthier
This is
version because
like
of that.
a funny question.
Yeah.
We can take it out if you don't want to keep it in. But like, do you think that like do you feel like the person has to like you a little bit more than you like that? Like you know how Rihanna says like
Yeah, yeah,
they
yeah, yeah,
should be a
yeah.
little more obsessed with you
It's
than you
funny
are with
because
them.
it's funny because I was
But
having this
like you're
conversation with
still
Julia the
obsessed,
other
you know
day.
that.
Right, I was having this conversation with Julia this other day, like where like something happened, and I was like, "Well, they say you should, you know, be with the person that loves you more, like you know, like loves you more, like you want to be with some,
Hmm.
you want to feel like they love you more." And I have a conversation with other friends about this. So what was your question? Do you agree?
Yeah, do you agree that that's like the winning recipe?
Agree. You should feel that way. Like in actuality, it's like you could in realistically both be just as obsessed with each other, or you could realistically possibly even have more deeper, better, stronger feelings than the other person. But you definitely want to feel like they like you more or love you more.
I don't know is who is like is that both people have to be like
Yes, I
that?
think both people should feel like that. Like your partner should feel like you like, I feel like both, you know what I'm saying? I feel like you would want it realistically in a healthy, nice relationship. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like you would want both of the people to feel like that. Like you would want to feel like I love them so much, and I feel like,
Right.
you know, and other people are looking at them like, oh my God, they just love you. The kind of like what you just said to me. Like I feel
Right.
like Julie just loves you so much. And you would want the same
Right.
thing in return for the other
Right.
person.
Right. Right.
I'm not here to judge who loves each other more, right?
Right.
I'm
That's
not
how
here
it
to
should
I'm
feel.
not here to talk about that, but I do feel like you should feel like you're just engulfed in it. And it doesn't have to be this fantasy, right? I feel like one thing you've taught me is like fantasy, fantasy, fantasy,
I
fantasy.
mean, yes,
Like
that's something
you
I've
don't, it doesn't have
learned.
to, I'm not saying that in a fantastical way where I'm just like everywhere I go, I'm like, but I'm saying that in just even the most minimal
Yeah,
ways.
you just like her.
Yeah, like it's just like little thoughtful shit. Or just like the
Yeah.
way that I can just like look like this on camera and you would think I look good. Like just the little things. It's just like the love that's
Yes,
deeper, the
yes.
love that comes with growth, the love that comes with
Yes. That's like
stars, the
really
love that, you know?
like loves you as a person and just thinks you're the
Yes, I'm
greatest
not
thing under the sun.
exactly. I think I'm not saying it in a way that's like, well, I just, because I mean, I'm a firm believer in like, I don't believe in soulmates. I truly believe in timing. And just like, there's millions of people that I could be compatible with on this earth, but
Hmm.
timing is everything. And
Yeah.
you hope you're lucky enough to
I
find one of those
mean,
millions. And so
yeah.
I just feel, I say that to say, like, I don't come from this in some type of fantasy way. I come from
Hmm.
this in just like, you want to be with someone who actually wants to be with
You're
you
right,
and who actually
period.
loves
There's gonna be
you.
a lot of people that love, what you have to like, you know what I mean? It's just like, of course. Like it's really kind of clicking to me. It's just like I feel like like I can love so many people. Like I
Hmm.
honestly feel like
Yes, we all have the
maybe
capacity to love so many people.
yeah,
Timing's
I told you
everything.
that I'd be like on the train in New York, like I would just be like like getting like attached to the people like as we're like riding. I'm like, oh,
It's the
they're so
truth though.
cute.
And
Like,
that's why
you
when
know?
it's the truth. And that's why when I like, and I don't mean to cut you off, but
Yeah.
when I like see movies or go to weddings and hear like, I knew you were the one the moment I met you, or things like that, or just like, or like, in movies when they're just like, it's, just say things like, I'm gonna marry you the first day. It's like, no, that
Hmm.
shit's fantasy. That's just not real. Like, you could have been that compatible with millions of people. It's
Right.
just that, like, timing is real. You need to be in the place where you're ready to have that type of commitment. And then you need to make a choice. I mean, sorry, it's the last thing I'll say. I just have a lot of thoughts on this, like, crazy in love versus like practical love. But I was
Hmm.
talking to Miguel about a situation and he was like, he's a married man now. And
Yes.
he was like, marriage in love like that is about there's a level of sacrifice to it, right? Because of course there might, like I said, there's millions of other people you might be as, compatible with.
Think
You're
they're
also going to,
attractive.
right, or think they're attractive. Of course, in the course of your marriage, you're going to have crushes, you're going to have whatever, but there's a level of sacrifice. Like marriage also comes with like sacrifice where it's like you make the choice to like,
Right.
it's not fantasy is basically what you're saying.
Hmm.
He's not just like the only person I see is
Right.
my husband, right? The only
Right.
person I've ever will love is my husband. This is the one, it's like, no, like, it's not fantasy. And I feel like that's what I see with the difference between crazy in love and like practical is like, there's the fantastical shit's out of it. The deep
Right.
love is there. And I feel like it makes way for this like deep
Right.
sense of love, um,
Yes.
which is different.
Yeah. Yes. I agree. I definitely agree. And that's a great way to put it because, yeah, like, I feel like Crazy in Love is just like, it's about, the fantasy of you and the fantasy of me, and but not like the real everyday, like,
Right.
it's like, yeah, so that's so interesting.
It is interesting. And I feel like sometimes in music, and we're not saying Beyonce that you're a love addict, we're just talking about your music. And like Samantha said, you might just be playing a character. Who knows? We love
Yeah, we
you.
know you get dramatic in your music. Like
Right. We know you get
that's
dramatic.
we love
But
it.
I
Okay. I have loved singing those songs and I will still
but I feel
continue to
like
sing it, but
yeah, but I
I'll
feel like
just know that
sometimes
that's not for me
right, that sometimes
sometimes.
it's just not real. And I feel like in times where I have seen people have that like burst of like romance that's like flames. And I'm not saying, of course,
Mhm.
like I experienced that and,
Mhm.
I experienced that, but it's not, but
Mhm.
it's, I'm just saying like when it's like that is the entire relationship is like flames, usually it burns out.
Oh yeah. Definitely. I mean,
It's
they
not real.
as a somebody that is recovering from like loving
A
too
flame.
much. Yeah. Or just that type of whatever, that approach to like love. Yeah, like hold on,
I mean,
I'm
I would
forgetting
never
my
want to be
thought.
in a position with someone where I'm like, I'd rather die
Oh
than
my
like live
god.
without you.
I mean, that is love addiction. Like people, and it's serious. Like when we be talking in the meetings, it's like this shit is serious. We see
Like
the
people say things like this, like, I didn't think I could live
people
without you.
people commit murder. We see the crime documentaries. This shit is real. Okay, it's like you're
Hmm.
not gonna live without, with like you're not gonna be out there, whatever. Like people get really, deep in this, and so it's like it's a serious thing.
Do you think
But
like, you know how we sometimes, I have a question for you.
mhm,
You know how we sometimes talk about how like Gen Z is very like pro divorce, not in a way of like everyone gets
you
divorced, but
tell
just
me
like,
that.
well,
Yeah.
I've seen that a lot. And I wonder if that has to do with this. Like, it's like they're just not in this fairy tale of like,
Yeah, I think
it's
so.
forever and ever and ever. Like, like they're not like
Hmm.
that. They're just like, I
And
wonder if
if
it
I
goes with
think
that.
about it, their kids' movies were a little less like Cinderella. It's like the
Right.
Prince Charming is saving
Mm-hmm.
her, like Snow White. Like we were really indoctrinated into some weird shit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I do feel like, and it almost feels like they've just seen our mistakes of just like even just with the Beyonce stuff, it's just like that is like I'm not going to go that route. Like I feel like now we're just like I'm going to, you know, be healthy in love and just like you said, like be practical, be like, and I love that for them. Like I love that they are keeping it real, and just
I agree. And just returning, it's, returning back to your senses truly,
yes,
right? Like,
yes.
um, because I think
Like
about the like blue faces and Krishans. I think about the like, just like really toxic, like you believe this is your like husband, but like it is just
mhm,
like bringing out the worst in you. You're like
mhm.
insecure, you're subtweeting Cardi B and Offset, like you're subtweeting,
Yeah.
you're doing all these things. And at times, we heard Lemonade. We heard Lemonade. Okay. We know that there was times where you were like, I want you to see me watching. I want you to notice me doing, like we know that there was some
Mhm,
toxic shit there too. It's
mhm.
like, they're just like return to your senses, stand up. I like that. That's the best quote ever.
Yeah,
Like stand
stand
up.
up, that
Like,
girl. That girl was so funny.
like you gotta check back
Yes.
into yourself.
Yes, you I mean, I love that the rap girlies are like what? I'm not about to be tripping over 1 in 7 billion. Like what? Like and just like literally like one of the songs on Meg Thee Stallion's new album, she's just like I'm not about like I look good. I don't got no kids. Like what do I look like being sad about this one guy? Like no.
Except
And I
for
could I
us, we
and
are one
I
in a million.
but I just yeah, you're right. But
They should be
I
sad over us.
for sure. And we know that they are. But
You're hilarious.
but what was I gonna say? Oh
Meg
yeah,
the
I really
Stallion.
loved that. I really just want to like go back to and just remember. Like I loved what you said about um, just them like you should feel like that they love you, you know. I'm like not
More.
expressing myself. Yeah, like they should feel like they
She's
love you
glitching.
more. I am glitching, y'all. And but also just like that there's like so many people in this world. Like of course there's gonna be somebody that just loves you how you are. And it's just like that is who you want. You don't want somebody that you feel like you have to like be too cool or be any different. Like there's somebody that'll be obsessed with you, just being you. And those are
That's the
really the
lesson of the
best.
day from
That's the lesson of the day. That's
Samantha.
my lesson, okay? I'm writing it
Just who you
down.
are, 'cause you're amazing, just the
Oh
way
my
you are.
God.
That's Samantha.
You're hilarious. Yeah.
Well, let's end it. I feel like we hit an hour and we nailed it.
Yes, we did. And remember, you guys, to go out and vote. Like,
Go out and
we're not playing
vote.
with y'all.
We are endorsing Kamala on the
We are.
podcast.
We are
Um,
endorsing Kamala. And I'm going to put a video in that is how I feel about voting. Oh, no, this is more how you feel. But, I share the sentiments, and he is just so funny. I love it.
And after Election Day, if you plan on calling my phone, you better have your I voted sticker ready for me to see. That's your permission slip. If you don't got one of those, we don't got nothing to talk about. You got time to catch up on your favorite shows? You got time to catch up on the tea and the gossip and worried about what the celebrities doing? You got time to sit on your behind and not do anything? Then you got time to go to the polls. And if you don't use any of your time to vote and you opt out, you're going to get cut off.
But okay, guys. Well, we love you. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Have a great Halloween. I know you guys, if you follow us on IG, you might have seen our throwbacks. But yeah, have an amazing, safe Halloween. And email
like,
us.
subscribe. Yeah, go ahead. You got it.
Email us at whoamitojudgepod@gmail.com. We have a lot of amazing things coming for y'all. Thanks for loving
And
us.
till next
We
time,
love
I'm
y'all.
texting you. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye. Thank you so much for listening. Remember to email us your discussion topics at whoamitojudgepod@gmail.com. Also, remember to subscribe to Who Am I to Judge podcast on Spotify and everywhere you get your podcast. If you love us, please rate us and review. And if you don't, leave us alone. Tell a friend to tell a friend. See y'all next week. Bye, friends.